In early 20th century Cairo, the boundaries between the home and the outside world were absolute. Behind thick wooden doors and heavy lattice windows, a family's domestic life existed in complete, cloistered isolation. Al-Sayyid Ahmad Abdal-Jawad rules this space as the ultimate patriarch. He demands total, pious submission from his wife and children, maintaining an iron grip on the household while secretly spending his nights drinking and carousing in the city's hedonistic underbelly. To young Kamal, his father is an infallible presence, a figure of such total authority that his word is synonymous with truth. Growing up within these walls, Kamal accepts this rigid system as the natural order of the world. This specific household functions as a perfectly sealed miniature of traditional authority. The power structure relies entirely on complete control and unquestioned obedience, leaving it uniquely vulnerable to any disruption from the outside world. That disruption arrives in 1919. A nationwide revolution erupts, bringing British colonial forces into the streets of Cairo to face a population demanding independence. The violence quickly breaches the walls of the home. Kamal's idealistic older brother, Fahmy, joins the resistance and is killed by British forces, shattering the family's sense of protected isolation. The tragedy forces the family's women to see a world their father had hidden from them. For the first time, they witness Egyptian women taking to the streets, standing boldly in public carriages to join the protest. The patriarch's absolute rule could not stop a bullet from reaching his son. This first mortal wound to the traditional family structure marks the beginning of a 3-decade unraveling of the old order. By the 1920s, the physical landscape of Cairo is changing. Modern Western influences now sit directly alongside traditional Cairene architecture, with signs for imported whiskey appearing beneath ancient stone arches. Kamal grows up alongside this shift, stepping out of his father's shadow to pursue an education in modern philosophy. He begins to actively shed the rigid religious beliefs of his childhood, trading ancestral tradition for secular logic. But his new intellectual freedom comes with a price. Following a devastating romantic rejection, Kamal realizes that modern philosophy offers no comfort for his grief. He finds himself spiritually lost, lacking the internal armor needed to survive in a world without absolute rules. Kamal represents a generation caught in transition. He is too intellectually modern to return to the safety of his father's house, yet he is unable to find a stable footing in the chaotic, shifting reality of the modern city. While Kamal struggles with doubt, the patriarch's own authority is collapsing. Al-Sayyid Ahmad's secret life of hypocrisy begins to publicly unravel, turning his private vices into public scandals. These public failures trigger a profound crisis for the aging father. Stripped of his reputation and his health, the man who once seemed invincible is forced to face his own physical decline and mortality. This personal decline parallels the erosion of the broader social order. As the scandals strip away Al-Sayyid Ahmad's domestic power, the rigid colonial-era traditions that once sustained his status are similarly losing their grip on a changing Egypt. The fall of the household's god creates a psychological power vacuum. The family is left without its central pillar, facing a future that the old guard is no longer equipped to navigate. By the time World War II arrives, the streets of Cairo are dominated by the mechanized force of global conflict, a world far beyond the control of any single family patriarch. Al-Sayyid Ahmad is now a powerless relic of a bygone era. He is relegated to his balcony, watching in silence as the dynasty he built dissolves in the streets below. As the patriarch's unified world splits apart, his 3 grandsons rush to fill the void. They pursue 3 incompatible futures, each seeking a new certainty to replace the one their grandfather lost. One grandson becomes a committed communist activist, seeking revolution. Another turns toward Muslim fundamentalism, attempting to reclaim the past through radical piety. The third grandson, Ridwan, abandons ideology entirely. He chooses the path of political opportunism, using an illicit relationship with a powerful politician to climb the social ladder. Without a central authority to bind them, the new generation does not reach a consensus. Instead, they polarize into extreme, irreconcilable factions, each attempting to build a new world on the ruins of the old. Kamal remains the intellectual witness to this fragmentation. He spends his maturity reflecting on the cost of his education, the struggle to find meaning in a society shattered into 1,000 pieces. Naguib Mahfouz used this single Cairene dynasty to document the evolving soul of a nation. Through their eyes, he recorded the painful transition from traditional isolation to modern complexity. The Cairo Trilogy demonstrates that when rigid structures finally break, they do not simply adapt, they shatter. The birth of modern Egypt was paid for with the total destruction of the foundational identity that once defined the family.